Hello. Budget day looms. Here it is today. And later on, we're going to have Prime Minister's questions. I'll cover that as much as I can and leave some sort of commentary to Prime Minister's questions. And then also, we'll get into the budget itself, which will be an hour long of delivery by Jeremy Hunt. It may be toxic, it may be emetic, it may be thrilling, it may be dull. But we have some idea of what's going to happen. Hunt has said that he's going to unveil a permanent tax cut in today's budget. That's likely to be 2 pence, a 2 pence cut on national insurance contributions. Well, of course, that's not going to affect pensioners. They don't make any national insurance contributions, and it will. He says this will mean that people will keep 450 extra pounds a year. I'm not sure that's enough to seriously affect the cost of living crisis, and I don't think this is going to improve the position of the Conservatives in the polls. That leaves us with a choice between the election campaign, the nasty election campaign, which Mr. Sunak called effectively the other day on the steps of Number 10, with that rather evasive, odd, unexpected, unnecessary statement outside Number 10, standing at his lectern. I think I called it a podium the other day. A podium would be a stand, something he stood on, rather than something he stood at. And this is a sort of lectern anyway, standing at his carefully contrived lectern, a lectern designed entirely for him. And he bristled and he vowed vengeance on extremism. Now, if Mr. Hunt's budget doesn't work, so Hunt's budget is the optimist, the positive force. If Hunt's budget works, then I think we're going to have a November election. If Hunt's budget does not work, we're going to have a May election, and Mr. Sunak is effectively going to be in alliance with Mr. Galloway. Both of them are very keen to keep this bubbling fear going. Galloway, of course, will then be in a position to pitch lots of candidates to fight the election on the Palestinian issue, which may not be relevant by November. And so effectively Rishi and George will be helping one another. Rishi wants the fear campaign. George wants the general election in a format that he can manipulate. The only people who don't want that, of course, would be the Labour Party. And if we go for a May election under those terms, you can expect it to be extraordinarily aggressive, incendiary language being thrown backwards and forwards, and I can't think of a scenario which is worse. This is not a call for prudence. This is a call for nastiness. So I think one's fingers should be crossed that Mr. Hunt's budget shows an immediate sign of success, because that will dictate the format of the election. The Rwanda plan is dead. So the plan before Christmas was that the Conservatives would wait long enough for a flight to take off to Rwanda so they could turn around and say that was successful. That will not be successful. And wags in the media might say, "Sir, which airline have you booked for the Rwanda flights?" They're just being they're just being difficult. No flights have been booked. No flights will take off. The House of Lords has effectively scuppered the Rwanda plan, and well done. But that leaves Rishi Sunak with very few options. If he had been clever, and I thought he was clever, but if he had been clever, when he came into office, he would have abandoned Rwanda immediately. He would have called an international conference to look at the 1951 Refugee Convention and see whether or not it was fit for purpose today. That would have been the clever thing to do. At that point, the idea of the passages which explicitly state that migrants can travel to a country by an illegal route, but as soon as they call for asylum, as soon as they beg for asylum, they are legalized. That particular phrase could have been abolished, and that would get rid of all this nonsense which is central to the two laws put forward under Suella Braverman's name. Both of those laws would have been unnecessary if the international agreement, if the international 1951 convention was reformed. And there's every reason why it should be. But without that, we in Britain are defying international law. And as we were instrumental in setting that up in the first place in 1951, that is ironic. And I think, frankly, unforgivable. You can't unilaterally redefine an international convention and still expect to be taken seriously on the world stage. I don't think that's a consequence of Brexit. I think that's a consequence of hubris and stupidity. And even leaving the ECHR doesn't solve that problem. It simply says we're not going to pay attention to the people who might invoke the spirit of the 1951 Refugee Convention. It's still flying in the face of reality. The only way to change reality is to change the formulation on the convention. And that could be done. There are plenty of countries who are struggling with the very principles of the 1951 convention with which Britain is currently struggling and which the Conservative Party finds offensive or an impediment to their progress. An international conference. He should have done that, and he should have had a new start. So with that, and with his with his experience in the Treasury, and with his analytical brain, his economist's brain, he could have then dedicated the rest of his time to repairing the damage done by Liz Truss and her marionetted chaos. But he didn't. He decided to embrace the rhetoric of Priti Patel and then Suella Braverman, Tufton Street, and tough it out and be something that he is not. And that catapults him into the bracket of the foolish, and it's a wasted premiership. He's just simply putting in the time. Sad.